The children and the victims in Sandy Hook stared down the barrel of an assault rifle designed for Vietnam and in war.
Family members of the victims of tragedy of Sandy Hook making the case now against Bushmaster Firearms, the company that made the AR-15 used to kill 20 students and 6 teachers. Today, they called it a, quote, instrument of war. The family members are suing that manufacturer, saying the gun is just too dangerous to sell to the public. Hi, everybody. We're glad you're here tonight. I'm Darren Kramer.
And I'm Ann Craig. A hearing for that case just wrapped up a few minutes ago. Lawyers for the families argue that the gun was designed for the military with the sole purpose of killing the enemy. And it's marketed to young men, giving off the impression if you don't have that weapon, you're not a man. But lawyers for Bushmaster say the company is protected under a 2005 federal law. It protects gun manufacturers from lawsuits over the criminal use of their products.
All right, so now a judge will decide whether or not this case will go to trial. News 8's Jackie Slater was in the courtroom today. She is live outside Bridgeport Superior Court with what happened inside. Jackie?
Darren, no decision made here today, but we did hear some compelling arguments from both sides. Now, defense attorneys argue that no laws were broken by the manufacturers or the dealers when that gun was sold. Now, the families for the attorneys say you don't have to break a law to be considered negligent, and that's why this case should be allowed to move forward. Now, defense attorneys say the suit should be dismissed because of the Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act. That's the federal statute which provides immunity to gun manufacturers and dealers in federal and state courts. Attorneys for the family say the judge needs to consider the Connecticut Unfair Trade Practices legislation, which allows suits against businesses who have used unfair or deceptive trade practices to sell their products. They argue the AR-15 manufacturers did just that through advertising that specifically targets young men. Now, one ad, they say, claims that by owning a rifle, a purchaser can get his man card back. Now, Nicole Hockley, the mother of Dylan Hockley, who was killed in the shootings, says that is the type of advertising that led to Adam Lanza using the AR-15 to kill her son and the others.
There were a lot of guns that our shooter could have chosen from his arsenal and his mother's arsenal in order to attack the people at Sandy Hook School. He chose the AR-15 because he was aware of how many shots it could get out, how lethal it was, the way it was designed, that it would serve his objective of killing as many people as possible in the shortest time possible.
Inside the courtroom today, 3 defendants, Remington, which is the parent company of the manufacturer, the business that sold the gun to Nancy Lanza, and the distributor that sold to that store. Now, the families say they should all be held accountable. The defendants say the chain of responsibility stopped when the gun was, as they put it, stolen by Adam Lanza. Now, the judge is going to have 60 days to make her ruling. Then they'll come back to court. Now, the case, if allowed to continue, will not stop the sale of these guns, but the families say that they hope if it does move forward, those manufacturers will reconsider selling them to the general public. Live in Bridgeport, Jackie Slater, News 8.
All right, Jackie, thanks. That was just a little bit of what those families had to say today.
And our News 8 cameras were there even before that hearing. Here's some more of those emotional moments.
As we know, this is what happened in Sandy Hook Elementary when the general public gets their hands on this kind of firepower. In less than 5 minutes, we know what happened.
I'm just concerned with where we are now. I got the rest of my life, quite frankly, to spend working on these problems. So I'm in no rush. We're going to take it one step at a time and keep the finish line as close as I can so I can make sure that I get there.
You can watch more of that news conference on our website. We have the full thing up online right now. It's there at WTNH.com. And again, the judge said that she should have a decision in about 60 days on whether or not that case will be dismissed or go to trial. As soon as we have that answer, we will bring it to you.